You're listening to Views from the Bridge, your second favorite podcast about your favorite team, the Philadelphia Union. Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Views from the Bridge, your second favorite podcast about what might now again be your favorite soccer team, the Philadelphia Union, because they figured out how to win a game this week. Before we get to discussing this game, Evan, Chuck, Paul, how you guys doing tonight?
Gang's all here, baby. Yeah, we keep our impressive streak of getting every coach fired going. So thank you for coming, Marco Donadell. You're next, whoever is at DC United. Who's at DC United? I don't know.
A guy.
It's true. I mean, yes.
Yeah, we're no longer as depressed as we were, but still stressed.
It was Walmart your stress relief, Chuck?
No, that place is awful.
Have you seen the price?
Well, no, actually, the worst part wasn't even the price of anything. It was physically walking through the grocery aisle and needing to avoid the seas of carts.
Yes. All right, guys. The Union won a game, which is super exciting. I don't know how to talk about this now. It's been so long since we talked about one of these. I don't know how to talk about it, but Jesus Bueno and Cyril Larson get the goals to beat Montreal 2-1, which then caused, as you alluded to, Evan Marco Donadell to get fired today. So the Union continued their fun streak of getting the opposing team coaches fired. Cyril Larson and Bueno both made team of the week, team of the match today from the MLS, I think. And so that's exciting. I don't know. What's your big takeaways from this game? What did you guys see as you were watching this one?
So first question is, how much did the Union win and how much did Montreal give the Union that game?
Two things can be true at the same time.
Because I'm not going to say that there weren't good performances in the game. And like both players who made Team of the Week certainly deserve to make Team of the Week. And I'm sure we're going to have a nice discussion about best midfielder on the Union right now, Jesus Bueno, which is strange, but it's the truth at the moment. But my goodness, I knew Montreal were bad, but then seeing that game was like, they're real bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Ivan Jaime is pretty good. I would take Ivan Jaime on the Union right now.
It's funny. I think
they always have a good attacker.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say it was funny during the game. I thought about Chuck's thing from last week where he said our defense is going to end up being average. And I think that was the most encouraging part of the game for me. And I know it's Montreal. Like, they don't have a really heavy attack, and they don't have, like, a Sam Surratt, like, whatever. We could go on about the guys they don't have. But there really wasn't the, like, 3 or 4 alarming mental errors that Makanya has made every game this season so far. It was just one. Like, it was a really weird one, and it was bad. And then Lukic had a couple of just kind of moments where he lacked a lot of urgency on the ball, which I think nearly led to Montreal's goal, but or one of their pretty good chances in the game. But I think we definitely looked better, and we actually created chances. So there's that.
For the first time this season, the Union have started the same back line in back-to-back games.
And I think
happens when a team gets a chance to gel together.
I mean, it matters so much on defense. You have to be able to play together and know your spacing. Who likes to float up? Who likes to stay in behind? Who likes to read the game?
And this is specifically coming from Sweeper Paul, who was very happy to see Sweeper Cyril Larson joining the team.
Yeah. So I thought Cyril Larson looked great. I think we haven't had a guy attack a ball like that in a while, at least this year. So to see someone actually give like pretty good service on a free kick in Olowski, and the great header. Really good finish.
Yeah. It was a nice finish for sure. Bueno, kind of same thing. It was like, that's what happens when you attack a ball that's kind of loose in the box rather than just standing there watching it.
That's where I think I agree with Chuck the most as far as Montreal just giving it away. Because there was about 5 people on what's like the whatever. There were like 5 people on the impact that could have got that ball, and none of them remotely looked interested in making any kind of challenge on that. And so it's nice when one of your holding midfielders can finish like that. And we have a couple guys that can do that, but at the same time, yeah, someone in blue and black probably could have gotten to that.
It's also
Sure,
just
yes.
really good to see that every midfielder, well, at least central midfielder, hasn't regressed coming into the season, since Bueno has very clearly improved from where he was last season. While we still don't know
Yes.
what's going on with the other two guys.
Seriously. Well, at least Jean-Jacques was injured for this one or whatever, like had a knock or whatever. So
Justin, there's your tee up, by the way, if you want to take it.
no, I'll take it. That's fine. So here was my thought, and this kind of goes back to nothing that actually happened during the game, because there was somebody who played this game who did almost nothing. And so I told the guys before we started recording that I had a stat for them, and Evan knows the stat, but I haven't given it to anybody else. The stat is this: that in 65 minutes of play that one Ben Bender had in this game, he touched the ball 21 times. 21 times he touched the ball in 65 minutes of play. Now let me give you the contrasting stat that I think tells a story that needs to be told for the coaching staff of this team. Kevin Sullivan played 2 minutes of this game officially and touched the ball 5 times.
Forcing Kevin Sullivan's agent basically to leak that Sporting Kansas City wanted to sign him on loan, and the Union decided that he needs to be with the first team, but apparently not playing with the first team.
No, he just needs
just
to be
being there. Just sitting on the bench.
He raises the floor of the team.
But like the timing of those minutes and this athletic report coming out about the SKC deal is quite interesting, especially after we all have said multiple times that Kevin Sullivan needed to be starting over. I mean, realistically, he should be starting over Indiana Vasilev, but you name the winger that's not Iloski, and he should be starting over them.
Well, and to that point, Chuck, the player with the second fewest touches in this game was Indiana Vasilev with 32 in 88.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. That's really cynical.
The next fewest tied were two guys who were actually, the second fewest was Milan Iloski, only had 25 touches in this game, but at least he got an assist with those 25 touches. Siri Larson only had 37, but at least he got a goal with what he was doing.
And is a center back, so that's okay.
Yes.
I don't need him driving play. I will say, while we're talking about people on the team, I guess I'm gonna stand corrected a little bit, because I don't know who talked to Alado between when we recorded and that game, but he looked really good.
Hopefully everyone.
And I think
anyone could have talked to him.
Anyone, maybe it was me. I don't know. I think him and Demiani are going to be a problem if we have even like Iloski and Anello, like just anyone that's not fucking Ben Bender or Indiana Vasilev to like make a pass and maybe be threatening from like 19 or 20 yards. I just think if Cavan starts this game, or even, I don't even want to make it about one guy. I think if a more creative-minded midfielder starts this game, and you can pluck them from whatever team you want, realistically, I think we win by like 3 or 4. Yeah, I just think Ben Bender and Indiana Vasilev don't have creativity as a tool in their utility belt. I think Indiana runs like a mother, and I think Ben Bender makes a living playing soccer professionally. But like, that doesn't mean you're going to impact the game. And we also, have guys to do that, and we need to play them.
Also, like, what is Ben Bender's position? Because he was signed as a midfielder. We came into preseason with him as the emergency left back, and now he's playing as a right winger.
Chuck, you figured it out. We're all reading his title wrong. He's a midfielder.
I like it.
Hey, Justin, if you want to drive your point home, by the way, about the whole like touches thing, you should pull up heat maps for both those guys, because I bet Kevin Sullivan's touches are all about 10 or 15 yards in front of wherever Ben Bender found it.
Kevin only touched the ball on one side of the field, so it wasn't all that convincing.
That's
But
fair.
you're right. The thing about Bender for me is Bender was on the field for 65 minutes, and the only time I remember hearing his name in this game was the extended VAR review on Montreal's goal that he might have gotten fouled at the beginning of that play, and that was like the only time I heard Bender's name for 65 minutes that he was on the field.
But as we know, the Union, while they can't play properly when they're up a man, they do play better when they play with 10.
Well, yeah, that makes
They give
sense.
themselves one chance to exercise their demons.
So
in a game.
intentionally going to this game with 10.
Yeah, that's what did it.
Yeah. There's
Let's
not a lot of silver lining
Can you
here.
tell how unconvincing of a win this was? I mean, I'm very happy.
It's a win.
I'm very happy to see points on the board and like the end of the actual streak of losses. But yeah, I mean, you've got to see some more improvement against DC.
I think it's probably a little bit unfair to say there's not a ton of silver lining, because I think there was a lot of good things that happened in this game. You just don't want to see them 6 games into a season. Like, this is the stuff you expect during preseason. But I think, like, you did see a jump. Like, Makanya seemed to have his head on a little straighter in this game. Siri Larson looked like the defender I thought we signed. Damiani actually got a few shots on goal since not having any at all this season. Bueno looked like a freaking force out there. And, you know, like, probably the best shot of the game was his shot right before halftime when he stung Gillet's hands and couldn't score, you know, and I think, you know, and then you look at the points on the board, and then you look at Alado and looking a little bit better. And I think you've got a team that is figuring it out. You just don't want to see this stuff six
where
games
we're at
into a
now, for like the progress we've seen is like recovering from a fire. We can only build back so slowly, like pieces at a time, and we have to slowly build back to where the Union will find themselves in a comfortable place. And maybe that transition is just a little bit harder for some of us, used to that being at the peak all the way back down to here. But yeah, you do have to take the little chances with this. You're going to have any hope at this team getting into a playoff spot, into a competitive spot, and a chance at the thing that's eluding the most, which is MLS Cup. Because at this point, you need to get over that line one year or another here.
It's hard too, because like we were like, yeah, like we'll be fine, whatever, last year, and then it was like, oh, we're not gonna lose for a while, and then it turned into, well, I guess we're gonna win the Supporters Shield, where like we've said every week so far, it's like this was kind of what we were going for last year, and like I don't know. You don't want to excuse the pieces, and like the recruitment has still been pretty okay. And I think the other thing that I noticed this weekend is like there is very few MLS Next Pro teams that you can watch. There's also a fewer amount of MLS Next Pro teams that you can watch that have guys in the first team's roster play the next day and like make impacts. And so we have this thing where I think our like Union 2 kids are too good for U23, but they are like not quite good enough for MLS, or at least like the guys in front of them cost way too much money.
Yeah, this is the weird scenario of what you lose in not playing in USL, just because they don't get to play against full-fledged adults anymore. And I don't know, since like the Union aren't historically a team that actually loans out youth prospects that they do rate. I don't know what you do for that in between anymore.
Yeah, I mean of course like, you don't have that. Go ahead, Evan.
They get a ton of playoff experience and almost like pro. Like they make these like deep kind of playoff runs and like that they play a ton of games. But like when you have, I'm thinking especially like Malik and Stas, like they're huge kids, but like they need to play a dude in his like mid-20s who's got a national team appearance with like the Caribbean team that's gonna like step on their feet 3 times a match. And like Carolina Core is not giving that to them, but you like don't necessarily want to lean on them for hundreds of minutes with the first team, because that means something is really not going right. And I think we were kind of close to doing that if this didn't go well. But now that we have a little bit of a semblance of like a pro soccer team after Montreal, like, all right, maybe they don't play 60 minutes.
And Chuck, I think to your point, like that you were making, I think one of the most important things with this game is like you've got to figure out how to back it up, right? That like, all right, cool, we won against Montreal, but you can't just do that and then go lose at DC and like no one's gonna feel it. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, cool, we beat the second worst team in the league and we still can't win. So like, you've got to figure out how to win or at least draw against DC to continue the positive vibes
together. Yeah, they
in
are
some ways
fundamentally better than they were to start the season. But when you look at the size of the step, it is literally the second worst team in Major League Soccer. So it's a baby step. It's a baby step. It's a little step. But again, if you can continue it and you see good progress, that this system will not just burn these players out completely, go on.
It's a baby step.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's right.
Yeah. Any other thoughts from this game? I thought, well, my only other thought was I thought Andre Blake had a pretty good game. Definitely, like, kept a few goals. Kept a few goals off. It was kind of, for me, it was almost vintage Andre Blake that, like, oh, the Union are still bad, but, like, Andre Blake's keeping them in games. And with the not as good keeper, I don't know that we win this one if all things stay the same.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's still, as always, where would this team be without Andre Blake? It's something that, like, I know we've gotten extremely used to watching, and like we did have to watch a lot of games of Andrew Rick last season, and he has come a long way, and I feel better about what this team is going to look like without Andre Blake than I have in a very long time. But there's a reason why this is 3-time MLS Keeper of the Year.
Yeah.
Yes. And he sort of showed it in the game in the way, you know, he responded to, you know, the chance early in the game where you know, penalty gets called, and Andre Blake just sort of calmly responds to it, doesn't make a big deal about it, but just kind of stands at the penalty spot waiting for VAR to do its job, doesn't yell at the ref, doesn't scream at the ref, like is professional in the way that you need to be in that moment. And then probably 15 minutes late in the game, Gillet gets a foul that wasn't, you know, was questionable and whatever. And he, you know, goes ballistic and then the ref gives him a yellow for dissent. And it's like that it does show like he is a professional. Like this guy is a professional keeper for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's the difference too between what Gillet's 19, right? Like he's a baby.
Yeah.
I don't think he's with Montreal at the beginning of next year. I think someone comes in and pays him a good more amount of money than he's currently making to be their number one goalkeeper. And then I think for Dre too, like having a consistent backline and being able to just kind of predict people's tendencies, that was certainly the most like he's communicated with his defense all season. And for as much as he gets a reputation as like just a shot stopper and a guy that can't really kick the ball long, he's both those things, but he's also a really good just general.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough. I think if he played in the midfield, he would be in a lot more like Michael Bradley, Dax McCarty kind of conversations, just with guys that can see the game really well, but because he's so far back and has to give all of his information that way, like it doesn't get brought up a whole lot. But I think his vision is part of what makes him such an incredible shot stopper, even with his kind of athletic ability not being what it was 10 years ago. It's all angles for him. So yeah, I think it's at least a baby step to build on, like Paul was saying, where it's like, all right, we have a big game against DC this weekend. Like, there's not a whole lot of other distractions. Like, the second team keeps rolling. Like, it'll be fun. It should be fun. It should be.
Any thoughts on the game? Any thoughts on the game this weekend and what you're looking for from DC?
Well, I'm looking for someone to punch Ty Baribo in the mouth.
Sure, yeah, why not?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, because like we're already, thanks to MLS scheduling quirks, seeing this team again already.
Right.
So you'll have a pretty good time to be able to look at, like, okay, we've already seen DC. This is how it went. Like, realistically, kind of nothing happened in that game outside of him scoring in the Alano Red. But you just want to see, I mean, you want to see a win, obviously, but you want to see improvement over that first game where they just couldn't break down DC at all. And now every team is remembering that this is DC United and we can break them down.
Yeah, for sure.
This should be a return the form of that, like, very attacking minded soccer, and then you basically just have to take your pick, Makanya or Sari Larson, basically just sit on Ty Baribo. And not do anything malicious, but just, if he tries to run, just make it really hard on him. And he'll eventually wear himself out, and if he doesn't get service, he'll get frustrated. And I don't think DC has guys that can give him that kind of service. You just have to make the most of them probably going into a pretty low block and just break them down. Which is why if we see Ben Bender and Indiana Vasilov start this game, I'm going to go Postal. Because that you might as well just put those guys in DC United kits. I know. It's going to happen.
Next point, though, maybe it's good. We're going in down a man.
Yeah. 13 versus 9 is a great way to start.
Ow.
Ow. Alphonse is biting.
Yes.
So vicious.
So vicious.
Is that all we got?
I think that's it. I think that's all we have for tonight. But let us know what you think, and we'll be back with more Union content very, very soon.
Chuck, gonna get